Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. We are broadcasting live here in the Lakes region this evening in our Lakes Region Bureau. Let's begin. Body recovered from Kingston Lake. A man's body was recovered from Country Pond in Kingston Sunday morning, according to New Hampshire Fish and Game. Fish and Game officials say it appears he was trying to swim out to an island in Country Pond Saturday evening, but went underwater and never resurfaced. The Marine Patrol, State Police Troop A, New Hampshire Fish and Game, Kingston Police, and Kingston Fire/Rescue all responded. They searched for the swimmer until it got dark Saturday and returned Sunday morning. The body was later recovered. The victim's identity has not been released. The case remains under investigation. Clerk shot, robbery suspect who threatened customer with knife, police say. A clerk at a Worcester store shot an attempted robbery suspect 3 times after the man threatened a customer with a knife. Police said they were called to 49 Varney Street for a reported shooting around 8:40 p.m. Saturday. By the time officers arrived, emergency medical personnel were already treating a 26-year-old on the sidewalk with 3 gunshot wounds. Officers identified the man as Juna Ariolo, 26. They said he had tried to rob the no-name grocery store with a large knife and was shot by the clerk. When the customer fell to the ground, the clerk fired 3 shots at Ariero. Officers said that Ariero dropped his knife, which was later found on the counter, and tried to run. Police said that the clerk and the 2 customers were in the store and were not hurt. Detectives said they have confessed the weapon and the clerk's license to carry while the investigation continues. Ariero faces charges including assault and with a dangerous weapon and armed assault with the attempt to rob. He was booked in the hospital where he is being treated for non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Former President George H.W. Bush hospitalized in Maine. A spokesperson for George H.W. Bush says the 41st President of the United States has been hospitalized in Maine. The 93-year-old was experiencing low blood pressure and fatigue on Sunday, according to a spokesman. Jim says Bush is likely to remain in the hospital for the next few days for observation. He adds that the former president is awake and alert at Southern Maine Health Care. Bush was recently admitted to a Houston hospital last month after contracting an infection that spread to his blood the day after a funeral was held for his wife, Barbara Bush. He was discharged from the hospital on May 4th. Bush's latest hospitalized comes one day after he attended a pancake breakfast in Kennebunkport near his summer home, where he met with several military veterans ahead of Memorial Day. Bush arrived in Kennebunkport last week, about a month after his death of his wife of 73 years. Bush has spent part of every summer in Maine since childhood, with the expectation of the time he served as a naval aviatory during World War II. Bush served as president from 1989 to 1993. Trump blames Democrats for border policy separating immigrant children from parents. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Into a field of lavender.
Let's go, folks. Break's over.
I'm so getting these for my home.
Experience the new Airwick Essential Mist.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions visiting San Diego talking immigration enforcement. His trip to the U.S.-Mexico border city comes about 1 week after a caravan of at least 150 migrants arrived at the border, having traveled from Central America to the U.S.-Mexico border, fleeing, they say, violence and persecution.
We are not going to let the country be overwhelmed. People are not going to caravan or otherwise stampede our border. We need legality and integrity in our immigration system.
The Department of Homeland Security has called what is happening at our borders a growing migrant crisis, saying attempted crossings increased 200% in March compared to last year, when illegal border crossings were at historic lows. The Attorney General saying the Trump administration will continue to fight illegal immigration.
The Department of Homeland Security is now referring 100% of illegal southwest border crossings to the Department of Justice for prosecution.
Sessions also reiterated his pledge to send 35 new assistant U.S. attorneys and 18 immigration judges to the border. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with more news. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.